Okay, well, I thought I'd show you my casting failure for the day here. And we've been working on a couple little projects for both the channel and for the shop here. So, casting failures. I've been working on the pattern for the overarm support cover for the Atlas mill. The M122, I believe, is their number. And this is a pattern that I've come up with for it. This accepts the core underneath. This is in the drag portion, and I've made it as a split pattern because this may eventually get mounted to a match plate if I get when I get the bugs worked out of it. So it'll still get a couple more coats of finish, but it's finished enough to where we can start tuning it up a little bit. So I cast it the first time today and had a pretty much total failure, other than the fact that I learned from it. And first castings out of a new pattern, I don't anticipate good castings. You know, it's part of the learning experience. It takes a couple of tries to get them tuned up and doing what they're supposed to be doing. So the main problem I had with this, there's several problems with the patterns itself and with the core. But the main problem I had is I just shorted it. I didn't have enough aluminum. I was using my smaller crucible, and it just ran short. And a couple of reasons. I got about two-thirds of the pattern. We didn't get any of the top section. So, and we're a little bit thin on this end, and we're a little bit thick through the center sections here, and probably in the upper section a little bit too. And this end's not too bad. This will get machined off flat and get cut out for the to go over the overarm support. And then there's a stud comes out the back of this that engages in the head of the mill, and that's what aligns it. And then there's a lock that goes in there to screw down on it and lock it. So anyway, I got way too much thickness through the sides here, and I anticipated that when I got to measuring the core box once it was done and everything, and measuring up the first core that I rammed up in it, why I thought it was a little bit too small, and it is. So we'll make some adjustments there, and we'll try and recast this maybe tomorrow, probably Friday. You know, certainly by the weekend. But I didn't ram this exceptionally hard. My sand was a little bit wet. It's been kind of a comedy of errors all day long today, because at 4 o'clock this morning it started out when I walked the dog, it was about 25 degrees out Fahrenheit here. So winter's hit, and went to run my sand through the molar and temper it, and found out that evidently a little bit of water got down into the motor, and it was froze up just tight as can be. So it took me an hour or so to get that thawed out, and fortunately there was no damage there. So I got my sand tempered and did that. So we ran our casting, and this is what we came up with. So not unhappy with this. I did another casting along the way, refilled my crucible, and ran another casting I needed to get done, and we'll pick it up again tomorrow. So this is all just a little bump in the road. This is part of the learning process, so I'm not upset about that at all. So anyway, we'll get that tuned up and out there, but I'm really tired of seeing these fools on Fleabay put these guards out there, these overarm guards, for $300, $325, $350. They're smoking dope as usual. So other thing going on is I have been promising a project on shaper tool holders, and to fit the little atlases, because there again, when they show up, these people are stupid. They want $150 for them, and they're, you know, I can see giving $75, $100 for one of these. Maybe $75 is probably about the top end for these little shapers. So, you know, when I see these guys listing them for $150, why they're smoking dope with the last dope smokers here. So this is actually an Armstrong, which it's still the proper size. It's not an Atlas branded tool holder, but I think they're virtually the same. There may be some little cosmetic differences, but I think they're both virtually the same. So that's a project that's coming up. I'll probably start cutting metal for that here, probably sometime next week. Here's the initial drawings for it. So this is going to be a welded up assembly. I'm going to turn the head and machine the head, and machine most of the head, and then I'm going to weld it to the shank. On these little 7-inch machines, there's not enough horsepower or enough torque to where that's going to be an issue, I don't think. So we'll try that. So here's the clamping post that goes in the top. I haven't modeled the the nut yet, so I've got to do that. I may sit and do that later today, or that may be a project for tomorrow in the morning when it's still too cold to go out and do anything. Like I say, we started out at 25 degrees this morning, and it was mid-morning. It was probably 10:30, 11 o'clock before it even started to warm up. So winter's hit, and you know, we just have to deal with it as is appropriate. So anyway, quick little update. Hopefully you find that a little bit interesting. Comments, suggestions, leave them in the comment section for me below, guys. And as always, thanks for taking the time to watch.